Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how I bulletproof my reading journal. This is something I've been doing for almost an entire year. This is a pretty small, just a plain bullet journal. Nothing fancy about it. It's just a black one. It's kind of papery. And I just have like a sticker on the front. It's not crazy creative, so don't get too excited that this is going to be a very creative, cool looking reading journal. The only reason I have this is because I like to keep track of my books. And you'll see that I've done a lot of different things in this too, like a lot of different ways, but I think I finally figured out the way that I like it the best. So I wanted to share that with you guys. The reason I even got into like a reading journal is because I saw on TikTok a little over a year ago, and before that I was just using Goodreads. Wasn't really caring, would mark it as read, but this is just a more fun way to kind of do that. So I saw a TikTok of someone doing this and I was like, oh my gosh. And then she had talked about this girl who she watched on YouTube. So that's how I even got into BookTube. So it's kind of crazy. And the first couple pages, I pretty much just copied from her because I was like, that's a great start. And so that's what I did. So I just wrote reading journal on the front, kind of used some highlighters. I'll show you the markers and stuff that I use as well and how I do the lines. So what I like to do is like the year in review. So it's basically just a Goodreads review. Like it'll tell you the year in review and it's just like number of books, total pages, shortest, blah, blah, blah. And then I wrote down all the books that I read. So in 2019, I read 28 books. And then I did my Goodreads challenge, the 2020 reading challenge. I had 20 books as my goal. I read 22. I don't think I wrote the 22nd one on here, but my goal was 20. And then on the next page, I just have all these books. It's my TBR, all the books I want to read. So once I've read them, I cross them off and I just wrote them all down a list. And then I have another one. So I have 150 is where it goes to. I haven't filled them all out, obviously, but then I just go back and I cross them off once I've read them. So that's what I've done for that. And then I have upcoming books. I'm not going to show you the next page yet. So like releases that are coming out. And so I cross them off once they're out and I've read them. So the 4 that I have still coming out are Beautiful Nightmares by KJ Sutton in December of this year. Amari and the Great Game, which is the second book in the Amari and the Night Brothers series by B.B. Alston. That comes out February of 2022. Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong is the second of These Violent Delights, coming out November 16th of this year. And then The War of Two Queens comes out March 15th of 2022 by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is the 4th book in the From Blood and Ash series. So if you guys haven't heard that, I just wrote that down today because I wanted to know if it was out yet. That's when it's coming out, March 15th. So now I really love this one and I just finished it this month and I want to make a new one. And that's just like a little bookshelf and you write the title in and then you just color it off as you go. And you just like draw a couple things, you make cute little bookshelves. And this is like my favorite page and I'm sad. It's the 60 book challenge. So there's 60 books on here. And I'm kind of sad that it's empty and I need to make a new one. So the next pages in this is when I was doing Bookopoly. It's the first time I ever did Bookopoly. So this was my Bookopoly, which Becca in the Books has and does all the time. And I think this was like a copy of hers in 2019, I believe. I don't do Bookopoly anymore because I've turned into a mood reader. But that was what that was. And then I started to actually track my books. So in November, I wrote down, my goal was 3 books and I wrote down the 3 things that was on my Bookopoly board. I'd rate it, write the number, and just my page goal, page per day, average to get to that goal and stuff. But then as I did that, I also did a little chart that you could see how many pages I was reading per day. And then I like did like the dates that I read the books. So you can see like The Woman in the Window was read, matched, crossed, and all that stuff. So I did that a couple times. So I did that for, let's see, November, December, and then I did the whole 2020 in review, and then my 2021 reading goal, which I've stopped doing because I passed my goal, and I also ran out of room. So I haven't written in that since my 33rd book. So, oops on that part. But that was just like the beginning. And then I created a new Bookopoly board because I was still doing Bookopoly at the time. And then I was doing the same thing. January, the tracking, February. You can kind of see my layouts change too. Like before they were very like boring, plain Jane. And then I tried to ramp it up in January. I didn't really like that still, so I finally made kind of like a chart, which I've stuck with this for the most part, in February. And then I made a third Bookopoly board because I was still doing Bookopoly and I wanted to really make it my own. And someday I might go back to this, but this is the one I'm the most proud of because these are all like my own and my favorites. But I have no interest in doing it right now. Okay, so then we got to March and I was still doing the like charting and all the normal stuff, but this was when I started doing ACOTAR, so that I was done with Bookopoly. And then April, I did Bookopoly once, so those were there. I read so many books in April. I was so proud of that. Sorry if you guys can't see this, I apologize. And then the charting, of course, I was trying different colors. May came along, it got crazy, and then here comes June. June came along, I barely read, and then as you can see, I just faded off and I stopped keeping track because I had to do it every day because I had to track the number of days. Like it was literally the number of days and then I would track it. So I stopped doing that. And July came along and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to try something completely new. And so now what I do, I'm still doing this. I just put a chart with pages, so the page number, the book that I'm reading, and what I will rate it. So you can see all my ratings I do in a color. And then I just write the total pages that I read and then the average rating. So I do that at the end of the month. I come back and I add that. But what I've started to do is I review each book. So instead of doing like a chart or anything, I just am going to review. So I do like review at the top and then I have a title, the date started. Well, okay, I've stopped. I changed that up a little bit. I do title, author, page number, rating, and then date started, date ended. It's changed on this one because I've changed it up a little tiny bit. And then I do what did I like about this book and what was most interesting or surprising. So I do that for all of them now, and then I just rate it. And I have found this to be a lot more beneficial for myself, and also it's making me think about the book that I read and what I liked about it, which is also kind of nice for when I'm doing this and I'm sitting and talking to you guys about the books. It's just been really nice, and I just enjoy this in general. So here is August. Didn't read as many books, but still ratings, all that jazz. And now we're on September, which I'm doing fantastic, if I do say so myself. I've kind of got them out of order because I know there's books that I have to read, so I've just put them on there anyway. But today I actually changed up something even more, and that is, I've already read so many books. So I've started to do title, author, page number, the rating, and then I do the dates together, and now I add a genre so that I can remember like what genre these are, what I'm reading. Just kind of keeping it a little more interesting. That is where I'm at a year after starting this. Not quite a full year, almost a year. A year in November. And that is my awesome reading journal. There are some reading journals online that I want to get, which I might once I finish this. I've still got quite a few pages left, so I'll finish this first, and then I know there are some that already have it all filled in. The bullet journaling is nice if you have the time. Like I said, this is not anything beautiful. This is just kind of easy and colorful, but it's not like I'm not drawing, I'm not adding in like stickers or newspaper or making it crazy like some people can. I was just making it convenient. So now for the like stuff that I use to do it, I have this right here, and I just use so many, oh my gosh, these type of markers. So on one, let me see, I'll grab a color. On one end, there's just like a felt tip, a brush, kind of like a brush marker. And on this one, it's just like a little ballpoint type pen on the side. And I really love this because, like, as you see, let's do. So, like, I write September out with the brush tip, and then the book, this is a terrible color, I'm sorry. I'll do the purple. The author, the rating, the date finished, like, that's all written with the ballpoint. and I absolutely love it. They are fantastic for that. And then the pen that I swear by and have for the past year since I got them was the Sharpie S-Gel pens. These are incredible. Literally the best pens on the planet. They're kind of like they're just a gel pen, but it's so precise. It's so perfect. I absolutely love it. I swear by it. You can buy a ruler if you want to measure out your lines. So like when September is terrible because I keep adding lines. So I'll go to April. So when you're trying to make like straight lines and making them like look good like this, I have an iPhone pen. It's not an Apple pen, it's just some off-brand one, but it came in this little case, and I don't know why, but I use this to make my lines. It works great. It's like the perfect length, and so I really don't need it for anything else, and I just use this, and it is fantastic, and it works perfectly. So you just need something. You could use a credit card, you could use a book if you really wanted to. You could use anything with a straight edge. You don't need a ruler. That's all I'm saying. I do like looking back on this though, and looking at like these charts, because I think they're really cool, and I liked how I changed the color up, but it's just fun to see how many pages I would read in a day. It was just kind of neat, but I like not having to worry how many pages I'm reading now, because before I was just having to read them and then mark them down, and now I can just read and be like, okay, I read a lot today, that's fine. I mean, I can kind of keep track, but it's not important to keep track is the difference. But it's really fun to look back and just see how far it's gotten. The one issue that I'm having is looking at like my TBR, and there are books that I don't want to read anymore. And so I need to like cross them off somehow, either use like a whiteout. Sometimes I do use a, let me show you. So, okay, I will use like a Bic whiteout thing if I make a mistake. It looks kind of tacky. You can kind of see a lot on this page that there's a couple here, a couple down here, but it works. No one's like, it's not, okay, I apologize, my phone or my camera died. But I was saying it's not the most fancy, but it's a lot of fun to do. If you're creative or you like to kind of bring out an artsy side of you a little more than what I do, a bullet journal would be awesome. However, I think the next time, like once I finish this, I'm gonna get one from Amazon or some bookstore or something, or even Etsy if there's any on there, that are already made up and I can just fill it out without having to do all of the actual creating. So if I can buy something that already has all the lines, like already these, and I can just fill it in and take time off and make it a lot easier for me. However, it was fun to do. I'm just kind of tired of doing it, especially with school and everything. So it's just kind of, you know. Do you guys keep track of your books? Do you do a Goodreads, or do you do something similar to this? Either that's like a bullet journal or just a normal journal or anything else, honestly. I'm very interested in how people do that. Like, I love finding new ways to kind of be creative in a way to keep track of my books. I think it's really fun to do. I just don't know what other people are up to with that. But I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope it was interesting. I hope it was, I don't know, not super boring. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do something a little different than just talk about the books that I do and the normal videos that I do. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it works for me. So with that being said, you guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!